Tonight, don't just watch the news, you become part of the story. 5 years after the police chief criticized the indictment of an El Paso police officer, the man shot and paralyzed loses his life. His death has you talking about police cover-ups and others calling out the victim. You've made it our top story tonight. Plus,
I was surprised this morning when I came and I saw that it had gone up, but I guess, we need to watch it. We need to do what we need to do.
the minimum wage increase is already affecting how much you pay for some services. Tonight, you are saying you're already not happy with the first of 3 hikes, including one worker who's getting paid even more in Las Cruces. What did this man allegedly do that has all of you talking? Some of our viewers saying, put this man in a freezer. Another one calling him a disgusting moron. You're lashing out at this man in our social media network tonight. Nichole?
It will be another cold night and another cold morning, but I'm tracking changes to your work week forecast. Details coming up in StormTrack weather.
It's all next on ABC-7 at 9. Get ready. You become part of the day's news right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
I hate to make light of this, but on one television show I heard once that you can indict a ham sandwich. And apparently that's the case in this particular circumstance.
El Paso's police chief was in disbelief a whole year after one of his officers was indicted for shooting 20-year-old Andres Cortez. New tonight, ABC-7 confirms the young man left paralyzed for nearly 5 years just died this past week. Cortez's father confirmed the news for us this morning. The 2010 shooting had Police Chief Greg Allen flat out disputing the indictment against El Paso police officer Jorge Gonzalez. Eddie already chiming in tonight with this, saying, quote, innocent or guilty, he's gonna get off anyway. Talking about the officer, 3 investigations by his peers most likely said it was a good shooting. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Harp. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on ABC-7 at 9. This is the newscast where you actually help shape our news coverage every single night. And as always, I am joined by Nichole Gomez. Nichole, you have our StormTrack weather forecast. And of course, you always help us make sense of all the social media buzz that's happening right now.
Hey there, Bob. Everyone out there watching. This is the Borderlands' only newscast that gives you at home a chance to shape the stories of the day. And you do that through our social media network. And here's how you find us. We're at Facebook.com/KVIA.TV. On Twitter, it's at ABC7 Breaking. And don't forget to tag us on your Instagram with hashtag KVIA.TV.
And folks already at home tonight, Nichole, chiming in on this top story. It's exactly how they're getting to us and sharing their comments. The top story has this from Kathy. She's joining the discussion with this, saying, had he been a private citizen and protecting his girlfriend, would we even still be talking about this? If you're not ready, then don't break the law or try and do physical harm to someone. Well, this is what she's talking about. ABC-7 confirmed Andres Cortez's death this morning. We spoke with his father, Elias Cortez, who said an autopsy is now being performed on his son's body. He also told us his son, paralyzed since the shooting in the spring of 2010, just stopped breathing last week. Andres was at Providence Memorial Hospital. Now, you might remember Officer Jorge Gonzalez was off duty with his girlfriend Nichole Gonzalez after a police officer, or also a police officer, I should say, when the couple said they were rear-ended by Andres Cortez on Gateway West and Yarborough. Now, El Paso police said that Cortez tried to speed off and run over Nichole Gonzalez in the process of all of that, and that is why Jorge Gonzalez actually shot him in the neck. Now, a year later, the police chief, Greg Allen, who you heard from just a little while ago, said he just couldn't understand the indictment against Officer Gonzalez, and he says the 3 separate investigations cleared him of any wrongdoing.
My concern is it might send a chilling effect to the officers in the field simply due to the fact that may make them question their actions at a time of critical need.
Tonight, Crystal asked on our Facebook, how and why did he die? That is a great question, Crystal. Well, we know Andres Cortez was paralyzed again after he was shot in the neck. We still don't know the exact cause of death, though, because the autopsy is still being conducted as we speak. Now, we are trying to get an update also on Officer Gonzalez and where he stands with all those charges that were filed against him. We can tell you they were for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and causing serious bodily injury. Gonzalez is still on desk duty with the force right now. More of your comments tonight. Roberto posting this just a few minutes ago. He's a cop. He's going to get away with it no matter what. No matter what. And from Claudia, poor guy. No one really knows if he tried running anyone over. It was their word against his. If he did, if he didn't, he still didn't deserve to die. Prayers to his family. A Las Cruces man facing child abuse charges tonight for allegedly keeping his 2-year-old daughter in the freezing cold. She was only wearing a diaper, according to authorities. This is the story that has Crescencia saying this, put him in a freezer. And Daniela saying, disgusting moron. We told you that right off the top. Well, 35-year-old Efrain Mejia was arrested Saturday in Doña Ana County. Sheriff's officers were called out to a home where Mejia allegedly got into a fight with his girlfriend and then ran out of the house with the couple's toddler. Investigators say Mejia hid out in the desert at nighttime with that little girl for about an hour. Get this. It was only 28 degrees at the time, and again, the child had no clothing on, according to investigators. Okay, Nichole, if anybody has something to say about this story, I'd have to say it would be you. You know exactly how cold it was over the weekend, and well, you're a mom too.
Oh, absolutely, and it was freezing this weekend, and you just got to say, if there's a kid involved and there's harm, I mean, it's never anything good.
Yeah, and most of our viewers chiming in tonight agree with you.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people just pretty upset about this story. Let's take a look at what Christina had to say. Or first, I'm sorry, we're going to take a look at what Martha had to say, because this conversation sparked a lot of criticism. She says, you'll have to excuse my French, but what's happening with this blank hole, stupid idiot? I hope they take away the baby from him, brainless people. And then Christina has this to say, what a disgrace to mankind. Again, a lot of people just jumping in on this conversation. And Jessica says, poor little baby, that SOB, Carrie. I just don't have anything nice to say about people like this. Hope the baby is getting the care it so rightfully deserves.
That is definitely generating a buzz tonight in our social media network. We knew it would, Nichole. Well, speaking of the weather, I must say, I really enjoyed the sunshine today. Can you just give me one day to enjoy the weather? Please, I'm asking for one day.
I think you're going to like me tomorrow, Bob.
Really?
No, after tomorrow, I can't say you'll like me very much. But
so
I'll give you tomorrow, so enjoy the weather.
You're giving me that extra day. Okay, we're friends again.
Okay. But let's talk about just how cold it was this morning. El Paso, we were only at 22 degrees, 19 dimming, 24 Las Cruces, and it will be another cold night and cold start to the morning. So make sure you grab your jacket as you're headed off to work. Current temperatures were at 47 degrees, mattress firm. Our high today, 60. So overall, beautiful afternoon. It was just a very cold start to our Monday morning. Our clouds and radar pictures showing us clear skies, which will continue tonight, but it will be chilly. Sunny, slightly warmer tomorrow, but I'm tracking that cold front, and this is where Bob is not going to like me because the winds will pick up, and we're also talking rain chances, but we'll talk about those details in your full forecast.
But you're a great lady. You know I love you no matter what, Nichole.
Okay.
You're my homegirl. All right. Hey, well, now for some stories that you really need to know tonight before joining the social media discussion with me and Nichole. All right. Services tonight for a woman who was killed in a deadly wreck Christmas Eve. They began tonight over at Crestview Funeral Home. Vivian tonight already giving her condolences in our social media network, saying, R.I.P. Shannon, and please take care of our precious, beautiful boys. And Crescencia, who you heard from a little while ago, also chimed in on this story, saying, R.I.P. Prayers to the family. Now, Shannon Del Rio was the girlfriend of Joshua Deal. He and his brother Isaiah were also killed in the wreck. This is video from their funerals on Saturday. Police saying Joel Garcia was drunk when he T-boned their car. This was out in Far East El Paso on Christmas Eve. Well, John also saying this in the discussion, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those who are crushed in spirit. Prayers for the Del Rio family. And from Christina, prayers to her family. May she rest in peace. Thanks to everybody who chimed in. Hey, you also need to know charges could still be filed against the driver involved in a deadly crash Saturday night in Far East El Paso. It happened on I-10 East near the East Lake on-ramp. Police saying the driver of a Honda Civic was speeding, lost control of the car, hit the guardrail, and ended up in the path of an oncoming semi-truck. The driver of that truck tried to avoid it and flipped the truck over. 31-year-old Aries Carr, he was killed. The driver and passenger in the Civic were not hurt. Already some passionate comments from a discussion that story sparked on our Facebook page. Gabriel with this: R.I.P. Mr. Carr. The truck driver lost his life because he was trying not to kill someone. He swerved knowing he was going to roll his truck. Now tell me how all truck drivers are bad. Melissa adding this to that talk: one tragedy after another and drivers don't learn. So sad. R.I.P. And from Claudia: how sad. Prayers for all who knew him. Well, you also need to know the trial for an alleged Barrio Azteca gang member is expected to begin in the morning tomorrow. Juan Cornejo is accused of killing 2 men back in Socorro in 2012, I should say. 32-year-old Luis Antonio Fierro and 19-year-old Roberto Renteria, they were found dead near a canal. Investigators are saying an argument over gang leadership led to these killings. ABC-7 is also following the trial of a juvenile probation officer, a former officer, accused of working a sex trafficking ring. This is video of 29-year-old Timothy Nichole from a YouTube video we found. Nichole, who is a former UTEP football player, allegedly forced women into prostitution. You need to know that one of the charges against him involves a minor. And Customs and Border Protection reporting that a $2.5 million bust of meth went down yesterday. It was found reportedly in a Volkswagen SUV at the El Paso port of entry. You need to know that a drug-sniffing dog is to thank for this bust. CBP officials say the 32 bundles weighed out to just under 86 pounds. 54-year-old Ramon Valencia from California is in custody tonight, facing drug smuggling charges. And you also need to know tonight that the Las Cruces workers, they rang in the new year with a big wage hike, the first of 3. Businesses are now required to pay workers $8.40 an hour, a 90-cent increase from the state-mandated $7.50 an hour. Now, by 2019, the minimum wage in Cruces will be up to $10.10 an hour. Local employees and customers have mixed reactions, though, and we are hearing from them all night on our social media. You can join the discussion right now that has Ruben saying this. He posted this a while ago. Prices will go up, work hours will go down, consumers will be the one that loses out. And as expected, Nichole, this story is still generating a lot of buzz from El Paso to Las Cruces. Everybody has something to say about this.
Amy is not happy about the move. Just after our 6 o'clock report, she responded to Ruben's Facebook post about people losing out. Amy said, as will our little neighbors who own a little local business that we love to support. They'll have to shut their doors along with a few nonprofit organizations.
Thank you for that, Nichole. And you know, it is a hot button issue that has some folks talking right now in both cities, but you actually did a story earlier today, and we hear from those who are directly affected by this wage hike.
And of course, we'll have more viewer reaction from social media. But Bob, I'm also tracking big changes to the forecast.
You're a busy lady.
But we'll talk about those details and all of what you can expect. Again, it will be cold overnight, but we're expecting wind and more rain. Those details coming up.
Thanks so much for that, Nichole. Also coming up, how cool is this? The new Miss New Mexico is a local girl. We'll show you the new title holder. Remember, you're watching ABC-7 at 9, where you're always a part of the day's news through our social media network. We'll be right back.